What is happening, everybody? Welcome in again to another edition of the Voice of Camp Nathanael from the campus of Camp Nathanael here in Emelina, Kentucky. My name is Stephen Bell, and with me, as always, is the bloviant, or the ever bloviating. I don't know. I was trying to use it as an adjective.
You're trying to make up
bloviant or bloviate.
This is Lee Sharp, guys.
Lee Sharp. Okay, now there's
a confused Lee Sharp.
You're not that confused. Come on. We talked about this before we went on. I even gave you even knew that one was coming. Come on.
I did know that one was coming.
So the thing is,
since I knew it was coming, I feel a little bit insulted now.
See, of course I'm joking. You know I'm joking. Bloviate is to basically just say a bunch of words just in an empty way or just to go on and on at length and not really say much of anything.
Basically, yes.
Surely the podcast isn't like that,
Hopefully
right?
not.
Let's hope not.
No, of course not.
Of course,
all of our listeners know it's not.
Absolutely.
That's why you're still here.
Hey, of course, we're just joking when I give Lee that attribute there. Everything that Lee says is quite informative and what's the word? Profitable.
We're trying really hard to recover now.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Hey, here's the deal. It comes back to that word for a second, not because I describe our guest that way, but because my guest gave me that word before we got on here. And so I was like, I didn't tell them ahead of time that I usually use some kind of random adjective to describe Lee that no one has kind of heard before. So I thought, well, that might be a good one to jump in there. But hey, how do you like that for an introduction? One of our best ones, right? Hey,
if you're still listening now, thank you.
Thank you for staying with us. We are excited because we're right in the middle of outdoor ed season here at Camp Nathanael. If you don't know what outdoor ed is, Lee, you want to describe outdoor ed for them?
Outdoor education basically turns camp into a huge field trip for lots of local schools, home schools, kids from wherever. They come around, and this year we've got it themed out for Pioneer Days.
Pioneer Days. And I'm actually still in my garb from earlier today.
Your 1800s garb. And we've got everything from a cow milking station to candle making to butter making to we got a lot of making things.
All kinds of
stuff
stuff
happening
man.
Here.
That's right. And yeah, kids can come. They can take a field trip here at camp for the entire day. And man, they get to check out a lot of really, really cool stuff. So, and what's really cool about outdoor ed, and we talked about this with Rick and Kathy on one of the previous shows from last month, is this is in like a 6-year rotation. Right?
Yes.
Every 6 years, the same theme comes back up. And so you've got it from Pioneer Days to talking about trees to, is there one about the weather?
There's a weather one.
Yeah.
There's a scientific method one.
Okay, good deal. Insects?
I feel like there's one about bugs.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember all of them. Right. I've only been hanging out for about 3 years.
It's a Small World was the last time I remember hearing it.
Whoa, who's that? It's a Small World? Is that really one?
That was the bug one, yeah.
Oh, it's like da 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 da.
If you want to go with that, that's fine.
The large corporation associated with that. Please don't come for us.
Hey, that voice you just heard, which works for a great segue into our introduction here. One of the things that makes outdoor ed so special is the amount of volunteers that we have that come in and make this thing work. Because we're talking for 4 or 5 weeks straight. We're talking over 3,000 kids this year alone who are stepping foot on this campus. Today, I believe we had around 200 that were here today. And so you're talking every day, just tons of kids. And we've got volunteers from all over the place who have come in to help out. And we've got a couple of volunteers here to talk to us about that today. They're here in the studio with us, and they are no strangers by any means to the mission here at Camp Nathanael. And some of you listening to this are you all already recognized the voice already. This is Mr. Nate and Miss Mary Beth Brace.
Hello.
That is Mrs.
Mrs. Sorry. Mrs. Mary Beth Brace. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Yeah?
Hanging in there.
Good.
Man, so you guys are back on campus now. We're gonna get to this more here in a second, but how long were you guys you're not just volunteers, you are former mission members here. How long were you guys here?
Well, we started 2 years before we came 2 years to check it out.
Okay,
but we started fall of 2001.
Oh wow, okay, good deal.
And then we stayed until 2017.
So wow,
August.
so 16 to 17 years there.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Your math is right.
Well, I take pride in that very much. Well, we are going to we're going to sit down for a discussion with you guys today, and we're going to talk more about that and your the roles that you played in the mission prior. But let's talk first and foremost about outdoor ed and your all's work as volunteers in outdoor ed. Obviously, it can be very different from being on staff. But first and foremost, what made you guys decide to come back to volunteer for outdoor ed this year?
We were invited, surprising as that may be. Rick and Kathy Franklin have asked us before, and it just hasn't been able to work out. But this year, I have officially retired, and we were able to put our store on closed. How do you say it?
It's time away.
Yeah, and we were able to come over for a couple of weeks. We're only going to be here for 2 weeks. This is the second week we're in.
So you guys are heading out tomorrow?
Tomorrow after
So
we're done.
we caught them just in time.
Just in time before they ran away.
See, look at
We're
that.
not running away.
So what have you, obviously it's Pioneer Days this week. How have you guys specifically been involved in ministry or here the past couple of weeks?
We have been teaching kids about the animals and the farm implements on a homestead.
Life on the homestead, yes.
And you guys would know a little bit about that.
Oh, yes.
Mary Beth grew up on the farm. She's had horses as long as she's been alive. I married into it.
Gotcha.
And we were able to bring our horses down many years ago, and we started the horse program here. And so we came back.
Did you guys started the horse program?
We brought 6 ponies.
See, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize
Whoa.
that. Did you realize that?
No.
We had high schoolers riding on ponies bareback. It was hilarious.
Wow.
They loved it too.
Poor ponies.
Poor ponies. Well, I have learned something. I did not realize that you guys were actually the ones who started the equestrian ministry here. So
When
that's
we
great.
brought the ponies, there was only an electric fence.
Oh, wow.
And then they built the barn and then the wood fence.
So, wow, the barn is that new.
Yeah, it's 20 years,
2000.
25
Yeah,
years.
I didn't.
2002.
Man, I didn't realize that. Wow, look at that.
Yeah. The only thing that was down there was the gas well, and it didn't even have a fence around that. It didn't
Okay.
have a cage on it.
Huh.
We just cut the grass and then set up the electric fence, and we were able to work it so that the kids had fun on horses the first year.
Well, fantastic. Well, we're going to get to more of that here in a second. I'm really, that's kind of blown my mind here a little bit. So, but backtrack just a second. What is, let's, and Lee, feel free to chime in here
go for it.
anytime you've got a question, man. What is your, you're teaching the kids during outdoor, what are you doing during outdoor ed?
I teach them as well.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
a
right.
Go
team.
back and forth.
Yeah, it's a team.
All right, got it.
Going back and forth. She normally covers the animals. I normally cover the tools that were available, 100 years ago. The kids like it when I bring out the scythe or the sickle.
He gives
nice.
that wicked laugh.
And they think Grim Reaper, and I said, no, this is I'm a farmer, and this is one of my tools.
Yeah.
And we explain it, all the different tools, how you have to dip water out of a well. There were no pump. The different values in each of the animals, the rabbits, the chickens, the horses, what they would do for you, goats giving milk.
And we would end on, don't be lazy on a homestead. It has consequences. And work is very important.
God gives us work to keep us healthy and motivate us, and it's a good thing. Don't look at work as being a bad thing.
No, we work and it gives us purpose. It gives us fulfillment in putting our hands to a task that we and God has graciously provided that even in a fallen world that we have that there. We put our hands to the task, and we are able to glorify and honor Him through our work. So let's now, obviously, you guys have a history with outdoor education. We were talking about the different outdoor ed themes that there are throughout the year, and we missed one somewhere, didn't we?
I think it was creation.
Creation. Okay, good deal. So, and you guys have been here for that
Yes.
whole cycle,
Yes.
in the past.
A couple cycles.
A couple of cycles. Okay.
Yeah, the cycle started out as 7, and I don't remember which one they've reduced, they disposed of, but originally it was 7 year.
Okay. And over the years of you guys being here, I mean, how much of a vital role from your all's perspective as former staff and now as volunteering this time, how much of a vital role do our volunteers play in this ministry in particular?
For one thing, it's a huge encouragement to see these people come in and help. There's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, there is.
And to be able to teach, 4 weeks, 10 times a day for those 4 weeks, that's a lot. So we're thankful to be able to come in and jump into a workshop and help.
It couldn't be done without the volunteers, if that's the question you were asking.
There you go. That too.
When, you have the mission workers, but they have obligations in the schools and other places as well. It's impossible to run a program like this without the volunteers.
And we've said this before. I believe we said this on a couple of podcasts ago, that outside of summer camp, this is the largest program that hands down that camp does all year long. And so yes, we have to rely on volunteers because like you said, we've got our staff running around still maintaining the campus through all of this too, work that has to be done that kind of is off in the distance away from everything from time to time. So we are very, very grateful to our volunteers. And I want to ask this because, part of this podcast and the reason we're talking about this right now is because we want people to be interested in coming and volunteering themselves. So kind of putting you on a spot in a way. I told you what we were going to talk about, but I would love to hear what you guys would have to say to anyone who might be interested in volunteering, and not just for outdoor ed, but for anything, because there's various ministries they can volunteer for. But maybe specifically in regards to the context that we're in right now, what would you say to anyone who would be like, I'd love to come and give that a shot?
Well, the pay is lousy, but there are other benefits that you get from coming. Some of the folks you meet here, the volunteers, just setting aside staff, the volunteers that you meet, we would not meet anywhere else. I mean, they just run in different circles. And so, and it is a sweet fellowship. You get to meet people from different denominations that see the value of this. Yeah. And God blesses us, I believe, with those relationships. It is just a good time to be here in spite of all the work.
Yeah.
But it's in a way, it's easy work. I know it takes time during the day, but it's repetition. And if you can talk to a child about something, for 10 minutes and you do it 50 times,
you become an expert.
You get really good at doing that one thing over and over and over.
But it's always new to the kids.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's right.
And you should see the kids' faces light up when they realize we have bunnies and they get to pet them, or they get to walk up and pet the horse, and they learn the names, and they're just seeing faces. I mean, how high schoolers and junior hires are a little bit more jaded. Is that a good word?
Sure, why not?
But they turn into little kids again when they get, I get to pet a bunny. It is gratifying to see that.
Or how my week has been spent getting to climb a haystack. Which is, or you've been doing sack races.
I've been doing sack races.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you give out those little stickers for whoever wins.
Yes.
I don't know if you announce that or not, or if you just walk up to them secretly and give them a little sticker. I found a sticker in the haystack today.
Oh, there you go.
that apparently fell
Somebody
off.
has lost their prize.
Yes, they did. But hey,
and part of that, just to add in,
go for
when
it.
our volunteers come, I know Rick and Kathy, they're usually if you're thinking, oh, well, how do I know what to say or what to do or all the different things, we've taken videos of years past when people have done it, and it changes a little bit depending on who the presenter is and whatnot.
You make it your own.
But you make it your own, and it's something that you get the basics of it, and you go, okay, I'm going to be teaching these kids about candle making. And I've seen how candle making has been taught. And like you said, by the time you get to the 49 or the 50th time you're doing it, you're an expert in candle making. Those first few classes may be a little rough, but the kids have a ton of fun with it.
And the kids don't notice that it's rough either. It just seems rough to you because you're not natural doing it.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the laters, you're fluid. You're relaxed doing it.
Mm-hmm. And it's a ton of fun from what I've seen a lot of the volunteers doing. It's just enjoyable to share and teach them about things that you can read about using a sickle in a book. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden, when you've got one in front of you, it means a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm. And talking about farming and me being a farm girl all of my life, I've taken many, many examples from my life and what's happened and put that into my workshop.
Nice.
Stories.
Yeah. And again, God brings people from all over the place who have these different experiences that can strengthen this particular ministry in those areas. Now, when it got to the scientific method, I don't know how much useful I would be in that other than, tell me what to do and I'll go do it and stuff like that. But I don't have a history of shoveling hay either. But at the same time, hey, I can learn to do that real quick. Oh, speaking of things like creation,
we currently have a small bee flying around.
I don't know where he's at right
yellow
now.
Jacket.
We're gonna leave that in, so Cameron doesn't have to edit that out.
Smack it.
Yellow jackets are everywhere. And we even have one in the studio, believe it or not.
I just killed it.
Okay, then.
Live and on the air there.
All right, that did it. Okay, so you guys, you've been, is this your first time coming back as a volunteer for Outdoor Ed?
For Outdoor Ed.
For Outdoor Ed, right. Yeah, I knew you'd been back from time to time. So you guys are out in Western Kentucky now, out in Bowling Green, correct? You guys are originally from...
I grew up in Gladwin, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Cedar Springs, Michigan.
Oh, well, I knew you were both from Michigan. I just didn't know exactly which spot. I mean, you can hold up the hand and show me, I guess, but it doesn't do me any good. I'm sorry.
The podcast doesn't do
it doesn't help. It doesn't help very much. So you guys, let's talk a little bit about your all's history. And again, it goes back to this thing because I'm just kind of. My mind is kind of blown because, again, I didn't realize you guys were the ones who started the equestrian ministry here. So you had four. Is there another one? Is there another yellow jacket flying around? What was that?
Hopefully not.
Just your imagination.
Just my imagination. See, I'm paranoid now because I'm allergic to those things. So quit. So you said you brought down 4 or 6 ponies? 6 ponies. Okay. And so how long did it? You guys came down here. What got you, aside from the sovereign will of God, all right?
How did the sovereign will of God play out?
Yes, please explain that to us and how it got you guys here to the mission.
Tell that.
Bob and Carol Murr,
Yep.
names that if any of you guys have listened to this program are familiar with. They were from the Grand Rapids area. On short notice, one of the speakers for family camp had canceled. And so everybody was scrambling, trying to find somebody to replace them. Carol, who went to Berean Baptist in Grand Rapids, the same church my sister and brother-in-law attended. My brother-in-law was a professor of Greek and Hebrew at Grand Rapids Baptist Seminary. So she called up there and see if Bob would be willing to come down and speak. He had time available, and they came down. And they knew that at that time we were considering ministry, my sister and brother-in-law. And when they came back, they said, you guys need to check this place out. It's kind of strange. So we did. We contacted the folks down here, and they invited us down. I think we came down in February. Is that correct? And got to know a few people. Miss Darlene that you guys could make a story or a recording about her.
Oh yeah.
And get some stories about Miss Darlene. And she was very adept.
Encouraging.
I wasn't going to say that, adept at putting me in my place. Well, she'd do her best anyways. A little bit of verbal banter there. And we enjoyed each other's company, to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the start of it. Obviously, we needed to raise support. We had to be approved.
Took us 18 months to raise support.
Okay.
Approved by the board for doing that. Just a few steps that you have to take in order to come. It may have changed since then. I'm not sure. You guys are.
It's still about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was. Did you want to? Mary Beth's over there wanting to say something.
No.
Oh, okay. That was how it began.
Now you guys have 4 children. They were all born at that time that you guys came into the mission?
They were 3rd grade and
Okay.
4th grade, and Simeon was 7th grade.
Okay, good deal. And so you guys, you just brought the ponies with you to start this
No.
thing up. How did that happen then? How did that get
Because
started?
we came down in 2001, and we went through the winter, and then we brought them May of 2002.
That sounds about right. But I couldn't tell you
Yes.
exactly, but
And
that
I
sounds
think-
about right.
Yeah. It was good.
I think we had we got a horse trailer, 4-horse with a compartment in the front besides, and moved our family down here using that before we put the horses in it.
Okay.
And then the 3rd trip was bringing the horses plus the saddles and that kind of thing.
Wow. So those were your personal horses?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you brought them down from Michigan. Fantastic. And now it's really cool just knowing that and seeing what God has done with that ministry over the years. And now, as we speak, we've got a horse ministry program that goes on
Trails
throughout
for
the year,
Truth.
Trails for Truth, and which James and Hannah and them are doing a fantastic job with. Both of my girls have benefited from that over the years, but my oldest, Elizabeth, is still very much a part of it. And it's just amazing to see how God has taken, a passion that you guys had, that He had equipped you with in your life, like you married into. God graciously allowed that. You see that?
Yes. Yes.
I will not argue with that.
Okay, good.
And it feels normal now. When you come into campus and you come in that big main entrance there,
absolutely.
and you come down the hill and you see
The horses.
horses
That's
and
the
the
way it's
horse
supposed to be.
pasture and
Yeah.
everything, it just feels like it's supposed to be that way.
That's right. I love the fact that you drive into camp and the first thing you see are all these horses out there, and it's like where you are at that point. It's fantastic.
There was a mom that told us a little story. She would tell her daughter, if you get ready in time, we can stop by and see the horses before you go to school, but you got to get ready in time. It's amazing how that motivated that little girl to be ready in time for school so she could go see the horses.
Yeah, and we still have. I mean, it's amazing. There will be people that will drive in and they'll just admire the horses. Sometimes people will maybe feed them from time to time. We have a woman that we know real well who walks, periodically, and she'll bring just little apples or something like that for them, and it's pretty amazing to see the impact that an animal that God has created.
The draw.
Yes, it really is. It really is. And now, in talking about things like biblical horsemanship, which is what they teach through the Trails of Truth program, and how, I don't know all the details when it comes to training a horse and stuff along these lines, and the horse trusting the trainer, but it's amazing to see all the spiritual parallels
And
there.
James is doing a good job of it.
Absolutely.
I was down there watching him in the round pen with that filly that he got that was
Yep.
wild. And he's got that filly walking around with him, and he turned it into a spiritual lesson for those kids. So it's wonderful to see that.
Is it wrong that I secretly call that horse cheesesteak?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
It's a filly. So I,
That one went right
I'm
over
sorry.
my head.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
That sounds
Ever
like
since-
a dad joke.
It,
Is that,
yeah, it kind of is. No, in fact, I believe they've named the horse Freedom.
Yes.
Is what they've named it. And yeah, that's just an incredible story of just this wild horse that has
It's just appeared.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
And that appearance of that horse has brought so many opportunities for spiritual lessons.
Absolutely. Oh, it's fantastic. Now, horses isn't all that you guys did while you were here.
We taught in the schools.
Yeah, you.
I did the K through 3, and Nate did the older ones. But we went off together.
Yep, went to the schools together.
I considered a date every day.
And what during summer camp, you were a rec director for how long?
I don't remember. For
time.
the last couple of years, I had gone over to help at the horse barn, so I had to give that up. But that I would say that was the best job I ever had.
Yeah.
Just
He
spending
still
the whole
talks about recreation. He'd still love to get into it.
yeah.
I still think, and I won't go into detail about it on the air like this. I still think one of the funniest things I've ever seen was when the movie making. You might know where I'm going. The movie making activity they did in the summer they were supposed to be all the camp staff, and I think Caleb Cornett was you. Do you remember this at all?
I am not aware of this. No.
And, there's a whole point system. You got to remember this, man, because it was classic. There's this whole point system that we do for our team challenge throughout the summer, and so Caleb was supposed to be you, and one of the kids fell. Like they were acting it out in this movie making class. One of the kids fell and pretended to get hurt, and Caleb stood over them with a megaphone and said, minus 500 points for weakness.
Nope. I have no memory of that.
Oh, I remember that so well. I just remember laughing my head off. But
So I will. Did you have a favorite rec game? Did you
That's
have
a good- that's a good
the
question.
one game that was like either the most fun to watch happen or the most competitive?
There was the one that was banned for summer camp. Jeff said we are not allowed to do that at summer camp. But on overnights, Rick was in charge, and he says, I don't care.
Is that the trash can?
oh, I remember that when
The trash, crisscross trash can over the head, yes.
It was hilarious.
I mean, and everybody, and they would pass, and
So
nothing.
close.
Yeah, and then when they run into each other, everybody enjoyed that. There was also King of the Mat.
Oh, I remember the King of the Mat. Yeah,
That was fun.
King of the Mat was fun.
It's kind of like King of the Hill. You spread a blue tarp and spread baby soap all over it and spray it down. And of course, I get to spray the kids with the hose and it's ice cold water, and they push each other off the mat.
Last one on the mat wins, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I enjoyed that one. Obviously, dodgeball with the staff versus campers.
That was always great.
That was always a highlight of the week.
Well, good deal. Mary Beth, what else did you, I know you were heavily involved with the equine ministry during the summer camp. Did you have other responsibilities at summer camp ever, or was that always where you were placed?
I was always with the horses.
Yeah. I
And
thought
then in
you
the
were.
fall,
You had the women's craft day.
well, that wasn't during summer camp, but
No, but
I
that
did-
was one of your
I was
responsibilities.
head of the women's craft for a while, and I obviously went into schools, and then the outdoor ed program.
Good deal. Awesome. Well, guys, listen, we're gonna we've about hit the time where we have to start wrapping things up here, but one more time, if you guys don't care, because now you're speaking. You've been here on staff as part of the mission, but right now in this context, you've been sharing more about being a volunteer here. One more time, could you just say something to maybe just encourage someone if they're looking at getting involved somehow? What's this opportunity like for them?
Well, I would say for the older person, maybe the retired person, if you are lonely, come, get out of that house and come be a part of this. It is so much fun, and there's things that you can do, and it's not hard. There is a lot of older ladies down there, and they're having a ball helping out.
And if you're afraid of children, there is things around here you don't have to play with the kids.
That's right.
I
There's still stuff
personally
to
like
do.
it, but I also like to eat. And there are ladies and guys that work in the kitchen that make it possible for us to do what we do out in front of the kids.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. When we're talking about volunteering, we're talking about we hook you up with lodging here on campus. We hook you up with meals. So I mean, you're giving your time for an amazing ministry to take place here, and we're going to take care of you as far as all those needs are concerned.
And there's maintenance jobs that you can do if you don't want to work in the kitchen.
If you're good at lawn mowing.
Yeah, if you can drive a lawnmower without running
We've
into
got
a
some
wall.
grass to cut on these acres.
There are just all kinds of opportunities. Check it out and find out if you'd fit in here. I have a feeling you just might do that.
Fantastic. Well, Nate, Mary Beth, thank you guys for sitting down with us.
Thanks for having us.
We truly enjoy having you guys here. It's always a pleasure to see you again. Yeah, I know.
Shakes his hand there a little bit like,
It is a joy and an honor to serve with you guys, and just to get to sit down, talk. We've had some conversations about the kids, where they're all at and everything, and it's just been really good to catch up with you all. So thank you for volunteering. Thank you for continuing to lift this ministry up in your prayers, and we're doing the same for you guys. So
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Hey, we got some stuff going on, don't we?
we do have some more things happening in October.
We do. In fact, it's time for fall overnights here at Camp Nathanael.
Yes. So
And that's for what ranges here are we talking about as far
we're
as grades?
going from 4th grade all the way up through high school.
And listen, there are various weekends, different grade sanctioned weekends.
Yes, it's broken up some,
It's
so it's
broken
not
up.
all on the same weekend there.
Not all 4th through 12th graders showing up at once or showing up for 3 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
There are specific times, and you can find out all of that information following camp on Facebook. So make sure you look up Camp Nathanael on Facebook. Make sure you're following so that anytime an announcement is posted, that you will be one of the first to know. And you can also check out campnathanael.org. And again, that is Camp Nathanael.org to get all information on those weekends. A very minimal fee for the weekend, for the overnight rather,
Yes.
Friday to Saturday, and you get fed, you get a place to stay, all kinds of stuff happening. And hey, here's what Jeff always says that I think is a brilliant thing here.
What we got?
If you've never been to a week of camp, this is a great opportunity to preview what camp is like and to kind of do it in a night. So if you want to take a shot to try to think, hey, could I spend a week at camp? Would that be something I'd want to do? Come, give us a chance on those fall overnights, those weekend conferences there, and come check out what camp is about, and maybe grab some lessons, do some lessons, and come to camp for free the next summer.
And we do our best to cram as much camp in there as... Can we cram an entire week's worth of camp into one night? No. Do we do our best to cram as much as we can in? Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, it's full.
And with that, just to say, I think we've added an extra weekend in there. So when you're looking at the information in there, we added that extra weekend because they get full, guys. So when you're hearing this and you're getting this information, if you're thinking, oh, well, maybe go on, get in there, get signed up now, because there might not, we only have so many beds.
That's
we
right.
only have so many beds. And
That's
once
right.
they're
It'll
full,
fill
they're
up.
full. So
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much again for joining us for another edition of The Voice of Camp Nathanael. And we hopefully we did not bloviate too much. I think did I pronounce that right?
I think we did.
Okay, good deal.
I think we might have bloviated a little bit.
I know. I'm sure we did.
If you had fun with us, guys, make sure subscribe, share with friends. If you know other people that are interested in potentially volunteering or coming to some of these overnights or just getting more information on Camp Nathanael, then share it with them. Let them know about it. Like, subscribe, share, all the different things.
Hey, and listen, if you're interested, give the office a direct call, 606-251-3231. Somebody would love to talk to you about volunteering here at camp. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Lee,
We'll be back with you halfway through October.
I guess we will, man. It's been good.
Yeah.
Nate and Mary Beth, thank you guys again.
Thank you for having us.
All right, guys. We'll see you in a few weeks.